One. Good afternoon, Adam.
Good afternoon.
It is always so nice seeing you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Same with you. Nice to see you as well.
Thank you. How's your Monday?
Monday was good. Weekend was good too, but that we had a March break here, so my wife and my son, teacher and the vice principal, had the week off.
Okay.
So it was surprising to learn that the teachers and vice principals are not anxious to go back to school, the same as the kids are not anxious to go back to school. So it's all interesting, I guess.
Okay. And good evening, good afternoon, good morning, everybody. I suppose there is no place in the world where it's morning, and we can say we can put up the first comments. And so, if you are here for the first time, these are friendly educational live streams on helping you to become more effective domainer. So investing domains, buying domains, or just learning about the space. And tonight, the expert is Adam Dicker from Canada. Maybe you could introduce yourself, Adam, to the people who don't know you.
Sure. Let's see, where do I start? My name is Adam Dicker. I've been in domains for about 23 years. Got into it quite a long time ago. Made a bunch of mistakes at the beginning, like everybody else. Learned over time how to find the good domains and the valuable domains, and enjoyed it. I ran a successful forum, DN forum, for I don't know how many years, probably about 15 years, 10 to 15 years. Built it up from 80 people to about 300,000. Had a great time. It was really good, and now I'm just busy doing my own thing and helping people learn the domain business and get going. I'm laughing because I'm reading some of those comments as we go.
Yes, we were 5 minutes late. Sorry, I would need to do the overlays. And yes.
And what else? I was the vice president of GoDaddy for about 5 years. I've had a lot of good experience, and I love the domain business. Very passionate about it, and I will never lose that passion for it, ever.
Do you remember what do you remember the first mistakes of how you were selling domain names, how you were trying to sell a domain name?
Well, I guess probably the first mistakes I did is what most people do when they just sit and they wait around and think that there's going to be thousands of people coming to them. So I think that's what most people do. They just register them. They think the world's going to come to them and find them, and somebody's going to offer them a big boatload full of money, and that's about it. But that's not how domains actually work. Sometimes it does work that way, but you have to have some really high-end names to get people to come to you.
And quite a lot of them as well.
Yeah, I mean, you got to play the odds are if you have one lottery ticket, you're probably not going to win, although somebody always does. But with domain names, you want to have a lot of good quality domain names, especially if you're doing it full time, and you want to have enough of those little lottery tickets that hopefully somebody will come to you. But every day there's something new. This week I came up with a new idea after watching a company that I've been dealing with run a successful business on doing maintenance for little things. I can't get into too much details, but I can tell you it gave me a whole new business idea to really get out there and launch something really huge. So this company was paying another company $2,500 just to run some of their what would I call them? Marketing automation tools and fix up some of the stuff. So basically, after watching that, I realized that it's a much more open industry. If I want to go in and set up a business to set up for every business tool that's out there and set up a dedicated team to handle everything. I'm just BI tools. There's about 10 of them. Marketing automation tools. There's probably about 10 of them if you include HubSpot, Pardot, and everything else. So there's lots of cool things and cool ideas of how you can handle things and go that way. I absolutely know the first domain.
Really?
Okay, so it's a good question, Scott. Is that the first domain I registered was probably powerwindows.ca, because it was the name of my ISP service before I started buying domain names. So it was powerwindows.ca, and I had pw.ca, and then I got pw.com that I picked up. And
one of the first ones. So PW was one of the first ones.
PW was definitely one of the first ones. It was the name of my internet service provider, and yes. I actually started the ISP service with a fellow who was in the hotel industry, and he bought Open Windows and I bought Power Windows, and the two companies started out together as that. So I remember that. For sure, those were the first two that and then I bought some dumb ones like some trademarks and stuff. But back in '96, nobody cared if you had trademark domains or anything like that. So I actually made some good money and some good deals getting rid of some of the trademark domains that I had. And it wasn't until about 2003 that trademark domains really became a thing, and you had to make sure you didn't have any, or you'd get into a lot of trouble. So I remember unloading them all in about 2003. So.
And then they just started coming in, those letters.
Oh, the letters were, I had quite a few. They were actually sending them by regular mail back then, not through, you got an email and you got a regular letter. And I remember I had quite a few that I had to give up and turn over, or I would have some problems. And right then and there, I realized after the first one, I kind of realized, okay, you better dump all the rest of these things because it's not worth it. And then I made sure I was buying better quality domain names, and I was, you just kind of straighten up and you learn as you go. There's so many things that you can learn in domaining on the way. I mean, everything from simple things like we talked about last week in the geo session was about putting the keyword in the right spot and not registering, I don't know, Gardener Orlando or something like that, or Landscaper Orlando instead of getting Orlando Landscaper. So there's lots of things that you learn along the way, little tips and tricks. Jill, cost $35. Yeah, that was okay. So that was, for us, the only place you could do that was at Network Solutions. They were the only registrar really at the time. It was before GoDaddy even came out, and it was $35 a year, and you had to pay $70 per domain name at the time, and it was registered for 2 years. So that's
Okay.
Jill, you're dating yourself the same way I am. So thank you for that.
So today we are going to talk about best sales scripts. And we were actually thinking that Sam would join us as well, but Sam seems is late. Maybe something has happened. That's okay. So the first part will be Adam will talk about different sales scripts, and as well the email, telephone, LinkedIn, maybe something else. And then on the second part, there'll be you will have time to ask your questions to Adam, and Adam will answer them here live.
Yeah, I think that second part is going to be really important because there's probably about 30 or 40 different ways you can answer an email from somebody, and their examples will be helpful even on the domain that they get, or if somebody sends them an email and they have what they were sent, there are certain ways to answer emails that you may do based on how the person writes to you. And there's a lot of things to consider. So when you're answering an email, if you do get an email about a domain name, one of the first things I do is I take a look at it. And before I reply, I do some research on the buyer. I make sure that I know everything I can about that buyer and why they want that domain name before I go ahead and I answer back. So even if they send you people aren't very bright sometimes. They'll send you a Gmail, but it'll be like adam.dicker@gmail, and they're not really hiding. They're just using their Gmail instead of their business email because they don't want it to match exactly what they're looking for. But you can still take their name and you can find it, or if they give you first initial, last name, and then you type in what they're looking for. So I'll give you a good example. If they're looking for something on, if they're looking for something on reputation repair, and somebody sends me an email from Sam Charles, sam.charles@gmail.com or whatever, I'll take Sam Charles and I'll put that in Google, and then I'll put the domain beside it, like what it is, whether it's reputation repair or whether it's crypto or whatever it is, and it'll tell me who they are based on that. It'll give me a better chance of finding out what they are and why they want the domain name. And that happens a lot. It happens a lot of times where you get that information and then you can determine who they are. And then you can look at then you can go to LinkedIn and you can look them up in LinkedIn. You can look at what their position is, and you can figure out exactly how much potential they have to buy the name and for the price that you're asking. There was a guy who came in through Dan the other day, and I'm sure I posted this in the Art of the Name. He made an offer on a two-letter .ca. And I had researched him, found out who he was, found out he was a student at Ryerson University, which is a local university here. And
Okay.
I said to him, I said, whatever his name was, Eric, you're not going to, this name is going to be out of your price range. I said, it's going to be a lot more than a student at Ryerson can afford. And he responded back to me, and I posted it in the same
Yes.
string that I posted the screenshots. And he's like, how the heck did you know who I was and what I was? And my answer was basically because it's my job to know. So you have to know your buyer inside out. And then there's other times where I've had companies like I had wisecracks.ca or wisecracks.com. I don't remember what it was. And this company came to me, and I couldn't figure out why they wanted it, because wisecracks, I think I bought like jokes, wisecracks, insults. I don't know what I bought at the time, but they wanted wisecracks because they were a company in Vancouver who fixed the cracks and foundations of homes, and that was the name of their company, was Wisecracks. But had I not done that ahead of time, and what they were using was some longer domain that didn't make sense, and I just found them like that. And there's some interesting ways that you can find people, but you absolutely have to do as much research as you can on the potential buyer before you respond. So that's one of the things you need to do. The second thing you need to do is people get excited when they get an offer on a domain name, no matter how much it is. Over time, you learn that you can't respond to those offers right away. Because then you create some urgency on your side, like you've just been sitting there. It's like the girl that calls you, and you're just sitting there by the phone, ready to just grab it as soon as it calls. It's like, hello, and they know
We've all been
that
there.
you.
Yes.
Yeah, everybody's been there. They know you've just been sitting there waiting for them to hopefully call you or call you back just because you gave them your number. So you have to be careful about the urgency, because the urgency, if you respond with urgency, then it takes the power of the negotiation out of your hands and gives it back to the buyer. So you definitely don't want to react too urgently, because then they think you need the money. They could think anything. So you have to take your time and play it cool, like you would hopefully by now with that guy or girl that's going to call you on their phone and not pick it up right away before it even has a chance to ring once. So hopefully that's one of the things. I'm just looking, there's tons of comments
Here's a comment.
already.
So there is a request to do the age verification. Adam.
Yeah.
Are you of legal age?
Thanks, Sunday. Yes, I did get a haircut. Usually it's a little shorter than my wife would like, but usually it's fine for me. But I know I'm seeing you guys a lot when you guys notice things like haircuts. So there you go. Good job.
So Adam, let us start with so-called cold sales.
Okay.
Once again, if you could remind, what was your process of approaching buyers?
Okay, so I'm just gonna pick a domain name that I've done before. Generally, I try to find a contact. My process is pretty straightforward. I'll find a good contact at the company I'm targeting through LinkedIn. And by the way, I can tell you that what was disappointing this week, and this is not related to domain sales, is that people don't know how to use LinkedIn properly. I find that, and one person in my from who watches the show said that they actually approached somebody to talk to them on LinkedIn, and the person actually called them, and they were surprised that the person actually wanted to call them and initiate a conversation through LinkedIn, which is kind of the way LinkedIn is supposed to go. You're supposed to use it to find leads, and then use your leads to use your connections to help you get to the next level on what you're supposed to do. It's supposed to be a business tool to expand your connections.
Of course.
Well, one of the things that I used it for last week was I reached out to a woman. My daughter's looking for a job at a place called CAMH. It's a mental health hospital. It's not because I'm crazy. She's going through to be a psychiatrist or something. Yes. So she needs a placement. So I reached out to a woman that I knew, and the woman said that she would help me and she would talk. She was a director there, and she said she barely knew me. She was a contact on LinkedIn. She said she would reach out and talk to them. So yeah, it's surprising that people aren't using LinkedIn the way they're supposed to. Meaning, if I need a contact at a company, I happen to have somebody who's connected to me, to reach out to somebody that way to help them advance somebody else's career or their career, which is what LinkedIn was originally, one of the things LinkedIn was originally intended for. So that was surprising. But anyway, she did respond, and she said she'd pass her resume on to a few other people. And it was Diana who said she did invite somebody to a call, and he couldn't believe that she actually did it, which is a true story. So And then Diana also told me that she's getting her food ready for today, but just making it so that she could show up for the call, and we'll heat it up when we're done. So that's pretty cool, Diana. And Diana and I both show there's no age limits to domains, by the way. We're both a little bit older than some of the crowd on here. You can do domains, you can do whatever you want at any age, and there's always stuff to sell. So let's go back to the process.
Yes.
For paperback.com, I looked up somebody in LinkedIn. I found somebody in LinkedIn who worked at the company. I targeted somebody who couldn't make the decision. Sometimes you can target a decision maker. Sometimes you can target somebody who can't make the decision. Then I found the person. I contacted them. I looked up their phone number. I contacted them directly, and I said, "Hi, Jim, are you the right person to buy paperback? I understand this was Barnes and Noble. I understand that Barnes and Noble does a lot with paperbacks and books and things like that. And it's probably a great name for you guys." And Jim was the guy in accounting, and Jim said, "No, I'm probably not the right guy, but here's who you should contact." Well, not only did he give me the CEO's number, but he gave me the contact for the CEO. And then I called in to the CEO, and they said, "Hi, I'm calling because Jim told me to call you." Well, now it's a reference from inside his company, who's like the head of VP of finance. And that got me right through. And the CEO ended up answering the phone right away, spoke to me right away, and we had a conversation and completed the deal pretty quickly. Now, it's not always going to happen that fast, obviously, but you have to create connections. Since you don't know people at these companies, you have to create connections, quick connections, who can help you get to the right person. If you purposely go to the person who's the wrong person, you say, "Is this the right person to talk to?" And that person is like the VP of marketing or somebody like that. At least you know you're getting to the right person, but you're going there with a reference instead of just cold calling that person. That does work a lot better to get in and get through the door.
Okay, to all those watching, please start asking your questions. We will leave them on the other side, to the other part. Let us get through this topic of sales scripts. So, what would be your top sales scripts, Adam, for LinkedIn?
So for LinkedIn, it depends what you're doing. So some of them, and I'm just pulling over another screen here just to see what I'm doing. So depending on what I'm doing, so I would say if I was selling a first name, last name, for example, I would find a bunch of candidates that I've got for a specific name. The one that I used, the example I used, her name was Charlotte Johnson. I was trying to sell.
Okay.
I found out she was the director of marketing at Nabisco. And then from there, I wrote an email that said, "Hi, Charlotte. I notice you don't actually own your own name, charlottejohnson.com. I thought it would be you'd be a good candidate for the domain since you're currently the director of marketing at Nabisco." And I targeted that so it's personalized and you would want it to protect your brand. There are currently 900 professionals with the same name as you, but there's only one charlottejohnson.com. And then I included a link to all the other 900 Charlotte Johnsons. This email is going to all 900 Charlotte Johnsons and will be only available this one time. Please contact me if you wish to acquire this asset, charlottejohnson.com. Okay. Now that's different. Go ahead.
Did it work?
It didn't. I don't think it worked specifically for that one, but it's worked for other people.
Okay.
So I would say that Charlotte Johnson, probably I still have that domain name, but it may have worked it's worked for other domains and other people that I've talked to. So that's not a problem. Then that's with LinkedIn if you're targeting those, but you can also target like accountants in certain cities. Like if you've got like Boston accountant, Miami accountant, whatever you want, you can also target people like that. And usually I try to approach them and I say, "Look, my name is Adam Dicker. I notice you are an accountant in Chicago. This name would bring in exact targeted traffic for you." And then I could show them some quick stats and say, "Hey, again, this email is being sent to multiple companies who do accounting in Chicago, but there's only one with the domain name. Please contact me if you are interested in acquiring the asset." But I mean, it says, "I thought you'd be a good contact for the domain chicagoaccountant.com since it would rank on page 1 for accounting service in the Chicago area, and that matches exactly what your client is looking for." So that's why I would look at something similar to that. But there's all kinds of them. And again, it depends on how the person addresses you. And I would use those emails no matter how I was going to do outbound, whether it was through LinkedIn or whether it was through just using a tool to go out and find who the leads are. Even just basically looking at Google and typing in Chicago accountant and see who's paying for the ads right now. And I would say, I notice you're currently paying for ads. Here's how much you're paying, and you can look on SpyFu.com. You can see how much they're paying for the word Chicago accountant, and then you can figure out, it'll also show you roughly how much they spend per month for that keyword. And from there, you can say, look, you're spending $300 or $800 a month on Chicago accountant. You can acquire this domain name for $1,500 or whatever you want it to be, and then you would be able to build a local site on it, and you'd be able to do your local marketing and be able to build up a site to get you leads for that exact term that you're paying for now, so you wouldn't have to pay for it.
Okay, a question, Adam. So, do you have these scripts written down in a separate sheet, maybe a Google sheet or something that you could copy and paste into LinkedIn, or you write them every time?
No, I have them. Let me just I can give you, I have a couple here that I've got.
Fabulous.
I'll have to put them in the private chat, and then you can post them. It doesn't come out as nice in the private chat though, but because it doesn't have the spacing or anything else. But other than that, it's fine.
Adam,
so
or
yeah,
a quick thought: you can create a Google Docs.
I can do that.
File.
Sure, I'll do
type
that
it
now.
in and make the link is for viewing only.
Okay.
So people cannot edit, and then you can say, "Hey, these are sales scripts of Adam Dicker. Want to learn them more? Subscribe to all the social channels of Host Maria." Basically, go to out of the name. Go to out of the name, and and just share that link, please. Here.
So I'm putting the 2 in here now.
Okay.
I'll just and there's others. A lot of them I do on the fly, just because I've had so many years of.
Yes.
Oh, why did that one post so small? That's weird.
Only part of it did post. Okay.
No, I'm posting it in the. I'm building the Google Docs right now.
Okay. Yes.
So
we'll start with this one. So if you're watching for the first time, this is a live stream. And we're working. This is the beauty. This is the beauty of live streams. The ideas come and then are implemented as we talk. So here is one script. You can go to the comments wherever you are, but it stops there as an interest to you.
Yeah, so I'm getting it right now. I'm just getting the sharing link right now.
Of course. And then with time, you can improve that one.
Oh yeah, no, and there's all kinds of them.
Mm-hmm.
Copy link, view only.
Yes, view only. Yes.
Done, and I'm going to come back here and give you the link. That's the link. Now I put 2 in there, the 2 that we talked about, but I can, after the show, if you give me a couple days, I'll put in about 8 or so, and I can also put in some based on what people are asking about in the questions, so we can actually give them specifics.
And also the beauty of sorry for interrupting. So beauty of Google Docs links are that Adam can actually, or we can see that people are joining in. Yes, that you can go there and these docs are being updated. Just subscribe them, and then Adam, I suppose Adam, you could update them times by times. Yes.
Oh yeah, there's no problem. I mean, I use different emails all the time, and I can keep that list updated, and I can make it available for people in the art of the name. And I'll even just put a little Host Maria thing on here in the top. Of the doc.
Thank you.
You can even see me typing while we're doing this.
Provided by Adam Dicker, yes. Okay.
Yeah, provided by Host Maria.
That is a question. Yes, that is a question. What?
I'll even make it a link so they can click there and go.
Thank you. So these are hi Jim. My name is Adam Dicker. I notice your rank. Okay. And those who are not watching, please, if you are not using Google Sheets, Google Docs, they are absolutely brilliant. Nothing comes close. Nothing comes close to them. This is a battle Microsoft are actually losing. And working with teams together with Google Docs.
It just makes things so simple. I mean, it really does.
Absolutely. Brilliant solution. Okay, Adam. So that's the LinkedIn. What next?
I just put the art of the name thing up there as well. It's not really LinkedIn. It's kind of for everybody. LinkedIn is just a place to help you find contacts to contact. But I mean, you can. Yeah, there is software that I've gone over before.
We can talk about that after on the
Sure.
second part. Yes.
So there's all kinds of different ways you can approach outbound. It depends on the domain you have. Like a geo domain is not going to be the same as, let's say, a product domain name or a service domain name or something else. The emails are very similar. All the emails should basically say that, look, another one that I like is the company who was using this asset is no longer in business. I've been tasked with managing the assets and selling off some of the assets. You seem to be a good target for blank, 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 whatever the domain is. Let me know if you're interested. I did that with one of the customer names the other day, and okay, I almost had it. It's like Coastal Diner or something like that.
Coastal
But it's
Diner, okay.
it's not that. It's something coastal, and they may be on this call now. But it's a really good domain name, and there were about 20 different. I can probably find it in my Google. There are about 20 different ones that came up for it, and it was really good. Oh, Coastal, I got it now. Coastalbistro.com. Good domain name.
Yes.
There's if you Google it, the first thing you're going to find is some exact matches that don't even have a website. They're using some sort of like a free service. Let me see what it was, because it was, but it was Coastal Bistro, and the first company, one of the first companies shows up as like a subdomain of something, and it was like, come on, you guys could probably use a better domain name. And then there's other ones on Facebook and things like that, and I contact them and try to sell them the asset. Depending how reasonable the price is, some people will make a decision right away. Other people have to walk away and think about it. So something like that, I think it's $1,500, which is very reasonable for a name for a business. And there were enough people on there. Again, that probably hasn't sold yet. I don't know. We're going through it, but that's what we're going through. So there's all kinds of domains that I go through when I look at somebody's portfolio, and I look at which ones I think are more sellable than others. And then I have to be the bad guy, and I have to say, look, out of these 500 names, there's only about 20 that we can sell that have a chance to sell right away, and the other ones are going to take a long time. So basically, that's part of it, is also filtering out what the names are. And I pick that name because it has so many different options for sales. And then I just contact them. I say that exactly that same thing, that I've been tasked with selling the asset. The business is no longer operational, and if you're interested in purchasing the asset, the domain name that is an exact match for your business, you should take a look at it. So that happens a lot. That's with almost every really good domain name. You can reach out in that same way.
Okay.
I'll post that email in the Google Sheets later as well.
Okay. Yes, it could be split. It could be split. You could say a LinkedIn and then emails or telephone scripts or something. Yes.
Yeah. And then for acronyms, one of the things I'll do for acronyms is I'll go ahead and I'll run one of the tools that I've shown before, like Watch My Domains or by Softnik or the Domain Name Analyzer. And let's say I'm looking to sell some, I'm doing this because I'm doing for somebody right now, I'm looking to sell some 3-letter.ios. What I'll do is I'll run all the list of the 3-letter IOs, or two-letter domain names if you want. And then I'll get a list of the 3-letter IOs and I'll sort them by DNS. And then once they're sorted by DNS, I know who owns a whole bunch of them. And I know who, like you can see which ones are single lines with one IP. When I sort them by IP, I can see that they're all pointed to the same server. Chances are they're owned by the same person. And then I can verify it in the same tool. And then I can contact them and say, hey, Paul, this guy happens to be Paul. I noticed you buy a lot of 3-letter .ios. I have a couple for sale. Are you interested in those? And then from there, we're working on an $8,500 or $9,000 sale for the 2 3-letter .ios that I'm working on selling for somebody. And he's already agreed to terms. We're just waiting for the money to come in.
Oh, really?
So there's lots of ways you can use by thinking outside of the box to find people with similar domains than you. So for example, you could do it with geo names too. So if there's somebody specific who buys every domain name with criminal lawyer or gardener or dog salon, whatever it is, if you run most of the popular cities, you'll be able to see who has them, and then you'll be able to contact that person and try to sell them to them. And it's not always domainers. A lot of times it's end users who happen to be in California and happen to have like 6 different names related to plastic surgery or something like that, and then you reach out to them and they're interested.
But then again, would you approach them via email or LinkedIn?
Okay, so usually I don't approach anybody via LinkedIn. I just use LinkedIn to get their contact information, and then
Okay.
I will contact them via email or via phone, depending on my mood that day, I guess. I prefer phone, but some people aren't comfortable with the phone, so email, a well-constructed email works just as well.
So let us say you have helmuts.com. How would you call me? How would you call me? You've got my phone number.
So yeah, sure. Just trying to think of my pitch ahead of time. So okay, I have helmuts.com.
Okay. Let us say you have maria.com. I cannot.
No, I'm fine with helmuts.com. I like that. I'm good.
Yes. Okay.
I'm fine with that. Okay. All right. So now I'm calling. Hi. Is this Helmuts, Meskonis?
Hey. Good evening. Good evening. Yes. Who's calling?
Hi. My name is Adam Dicker. I'm just calling to let you know that I have picked up an asset from a company I thought you'd be interested in. It's helmuts.com. It's an exact match for your name. There's a lot of people in the world named Helmuts, and you could be the only one that people would find at helmuts.com. So I'm not sure if you're interested, but it sounds like it'd be a pretty good asset for you to own. I noticed you run your own company. You have your own blog. You also run a hosting company. It's a great way to build your brand.
That's good. That's good. I really love the salespeople who know the person they are calling to.
You absolutely have to know the person. I noticed you're in the internet business. I noticed you run a large hosting company. I couldn't get maria.com, but I did get helmuts.com if that's something you're interested in.
Okay, what's the price?
Okay, the price, to be honest with you, the price is negotiable. It really depends now.
Come on, Adam. Adam, I'm in the middle of actually a live stream right now.
Okay.
I was really interested, and I'm talking to a domain investor from Canada, but I've got like 2 or 3 minutes. So
no
what's
problem.
The price?
Are you interested in the domain name?
Could be.
Could be.
It depends.
Okay. Why don't I prepare a proposal and send it over, and we can talk about it afterwards. I want to send you some of the benefits of owning the domain name and the traffic that they're involved in.
Can you give me the price range, please? Just to understand, are we within the same price range or not? Maybe I'm just wasting your time.
Honestly, I'm looking for mid to upper 5 figures for the domain name. So I would say between $5,000 and $10,000. Is that something you'd be interested in?
Sounds good. Flexible payment options?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Send me an email.
Let me put something.
I do apologize. I really need to return to the live stream.
No problem.
We have 29 people watching us.
I'll put something together for you, and thanks for taking the call.
Thank you. So you left money on the table. Well, not knowing my situation, you would squeeze actually out all of it.
Yeah,
as we are growing, I invest everything in our employees, and we just actually
it honestly depends on what I paid for the domain name and what I'm going to sell it for, because it doesn't have to be a 50, 60. I'm not going to sell you on a first phone call on a 6-figure domain name. It's not going to happen. So I would have to think about what I would want. I paid $1,500 for it. I was lucky enough. I got it through a domainer who needed the money, and if I sell it for anything in high 4 or 5 figures, I'm happy, obviously. So off we go. Every call changes based on who you're talking to and what their objections are. So that's basic sales marketing. But yeah, everything changes.
When you make a call, have you got some tricks in your scripts? Maybe not tricks, but how to get the person you called to start speaking?
So I will not only look at their LinkedIn, but I'll look at their Facebook. I'll find out where they went to school. I'll start out with a conversation about, oh, you went to, I don't know, to Texas, so you're a Longhorn fan, and we'll start building some sort of rapport and get started based on that. So I need as much information as I can about him, and I want to touch on things that's going to hit close to him. So I won't directly mention that I know he's got 3 kids or something like that. But depending on the call, I could mention that if he's got kids, yeah, I have 4 kids. I know how it is. It's tough, and I'm glad that depending what age they're at, you want to touch and create bonds with people on anything you can so that they can relate to you. So I'll know where he went to school. I'll know what year he graduated in. I'll know how old the person is. I'll know based on that if I can relate to other things that I've done or things that he's done. I basically, if it's a really good sale and I want it, I'll have almost like a full person's resume in front of me, and I'll have their LinkedIn profile as well.
Absolutely. And those who are watching, if you are watching from the buyer's side, I could say I receive sales calls on daily basis. And it always makes me really, really sad when a salesperson calls and is not prepared and hasn't got information, whom they are calling, why they are calling, little background information that could get the conversation started. And that
Yeah,
is a conversation killer, sadly. I
yeah.
really like the sales guys. I really like the sales guys and salesmen and saleswomen. Really like them. Sales are so important, so important. But when they come unprepared,
Well, it's part of our everyday business, so we have to know sales, and we have to know how to pivot, and we have to know when somebody doesn't want to talk to you. I mean, you can add. So another thing that I do is when I do set up an email sequence, we've talked about it before, I will make sure that I do add them to LinkedIn, so that when I do call, they're sort of familiar with my name, and it's in their head. They don't know why, but they remember that somehow they said yes, or they connected with me, or they saw a connection request or something. That happens a lot. So after the first email or after the first phone call, I'll add them to LinkedIn, and then
okay.
I can either communicate through there, or I can use that just as a reminder to get in touch with them.
Okay, let us say now you are calling a personal assistant. And so last time we were talking about Honesty, a name that I foolishly dropped.
Yeah.
And let us say you own honesty.com.
Yeah.
And you are calling to, yes, the personal assistant of a foundation, let us director of foundation or something like that. And he
So,
says, look, call to my assistant and talk with her first.
okay, so the only way to get past the assistant is to have somebody that has more power than she does, that she'll feel bad and won't be able to turn you down to getting through to where you want to get through. So if I'm calling the assistant, I'm going to have the name of
Yes.
somebody else in the company
Well,
that told me to call.
directly the director of foundation told to call his assistant. So from the top, a person from the top has told to call
Yeah.
and so what would you say in this case?
Well, I would say whatever the person's
Okay,
name was.
let us say I'm sitting on the phone. Yes, it would be interesting to know how you approach people who take the orders and do not make decisions.
Okay, so hi, how are you? My,
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Adam Dicker. I've spoken to George Hingis at your company. He told me that I should talk to your boss, John. Is John available?
You can leave the message with me. I'll
Sure.
pass it to John.
Could you tell John that George Hingis suggested I give him a call, and here's my number, 416-884-0535, please?
Okay, I don't think he'll call you back directly. Sorry, what was again your name?
My name is Adam Dicker, and it's regarding a domain or a purchase that George thought would help your business grow, and he thought it would be a good idea if I spoke to John. So if you could just have John call me back, I think he'd really benefit from the conversation.
So are you selling something?
Not really selling something. What I'm doing is I'm selling an opportunity to bring in extra clients that you guys are currently paying for right now.
And what are you selling?
The domain name, what is it?
Honesty.
Honesty. Oh, I was
Yes.
going to change it to something else. Honesty, and it's something that you guys are currently building your brand on. It's something that you guys need, and you would benefit quite a bit from having that traffic. That's why George thought it would be a good idea for me to contact you.
And what is the best way to contact you?
The best way is either by phone or email. Phone is the best because I'm always at my cell phone, 416-884-0535. And I'm always the one who answers it, so you'll never have a problem getting a hold of me.
Thank you. Written down. Is there anything else I can help you with?
No, I just appreciate your time, and thank you for forwarding the message to John. Have a great day.
Thank you, Adam. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, no, it might sound strange, but later on, I definitely know. I will go back to these calls and I will rewatch them. I just, in these little conversations, you can see the ways that other people approach others.
Yeah.
This will be interesting to rewind it and analyze sentence by sentence.
Well, I
And
think the best thing is
yeah, yes,
the
go on.
best thing is to just stay relaxed, be yourself, but find usually if somebody calls somebody and they're an administrative assistant and they
Yes,
have somebody else's name who's as powerful or as senior as their
of
boss,
course.
as a secretary or as administrative assistant, male or female, they're going to put that person through. Or they're going to say, I'm sorry, he's busy right now, but I'll definitely get him to call you back.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to be the reason that that message didn't get through. And then
Yes.
they've got a whole other thing to deal with if they think it's something serious that was sent through. So it puts them on a hot seat to put that message through.
What is the best way to go around? Are you selling something?
Um,
Of course, we are selling something.
I couldn't even remember the name of the domain name, but am I selling something?
Yes.
No, I'm not really selling something. I'm calling with a way that you guys can increase traffic to your business. And are you interested in getting more customers? And the answer is always going to be yes. Can you handle more customers is another way to go at it. Whereas every business will always say they can handle more customers or they're going to increase their staff. So it really depends on how you answer the question, how you address the question. I'm not selling something. I'm not selling you encyclopedias. I'm calling to let you know that there's a way for you to increase your business and save money from what you're already spending on AdWords currently. Because you're already spending, I already know you're spending $3,500 a month on AdWords. And I'm calling with a way to help you save that money and still get the same or more leads.
My experience with personal assistants can be really helpful, and some personal assistants are put as shields, and that's fine. And once they understand the person knows who is calling, he has been referred to her by her boss, she would take everything. But everybody wants to be important times by times.
Oh yeah, but it also depends how you talk to that
Yes.
person. So hi Linda,
Yes.
how you doing today? Great, and I'm not going to spend too much time with her. She's going to think it's too salesy. So hi Jim, how are you? Just ask a couple leading questions. How's your day going? Something simple, and then get to it. Hi, I was sent in by George or whoever it was, and George thought it'd be a good idea if I talked to John. I'm surprised I remembered these two
Okay.
names for longer than 5 minutes, but we're good. So,
Okay.
and
So
then the other
what?
thing you can
Yes.
do, the other thing you can do is make sure you take down the person's name after you've left the message. Could I get your name just so I knew who I left the message with, because it's a big company. And now you've got their name, and now they're really on the hook to pass that message across. What do you
Now,
mean you get the message?
yes,
Well, I spoke to
yes,
Linda.
absolutely. Now, do you organize the lists in some kind of CMR system?
I would just keep it on I'd keep it on my notepad. I'd have the domain name. I'd have all the people that I called, and I would transfer it to an Excel sheet after I was done, or a Google sheet. So I could keep a list of who I called, what date, and then I could do the follow-up. So yes.
So you have a Google Sheet.
Yes.
And how is it organized, your Google Sheet? Many tabs? Yes.
No, not many tabs.
Not
First of all, it's the
subsheets.
domain.
Yes.
It's the domain, then it's the list of leads, and then it's who I spoke to at the company if I got a name, which usually I'll get, who I need to speak to, who I left the message with, who I intend to call, and then the time and date of which I called. So I know to follow up and check back when it's a good time to follow up. Don't leave it too long before it goes completely cold.
Okay.
And then the second time you call, I say, hey, Linda, it's me again. I was calling to talk to John. Not sure if he's available today, but last time I know he was busy. George told me to give you a call, and that'll cue her memory, and then maybe she'll either put me through, or at least keep her refreshed on, oh yeah, thanks. I'll put the message in, or I forgot to give it to him, or something like that.
This is exactly the thing. And those who are joined a bit later, I do apologize. You can ask your questions, and we'll put them on the screen on the second part of this video. But this video is definitely something that you might want to watch, rewind a bit, watch and watch and watch and watch. Hopefully, this will help you. Okay, so what about high-figure domain names? Let us say 3letter.com.
Okay, so for a 3letter.com or a 3letter anything,
Yes.
generally what I will do is I'll find companies who are
Thank you.
matching those 3letter. Let's say it's a 3letter.com. So I'll look up all of the companies in that same tool, the domain name analyzer, find all of those 3letter companies that have a 3letter domain name that match exactly to the com that I'm trying to sell, or the .co.uk or the .ca. And then I'll
Yes.
see they've got a worse domain than the .com, and then I can go after them because they already believe in the brandability of a 3-letter .info or .net or .guru or .whatever, and then I can go after them. But I have to be able to figure out by looking at the companies which ones can also afford the budgets that I'm asking for. So just because somebody has 3-letter .biz doesn't mean that they can afford that 3-letter .com. So I have to go and look at LinkedIn and look at the actual companies, see how many employees they have, see how much they are, see if they're public or not. And then I would go after and start to try to target the ones that could afford it, like the Price Waterhouse one. I would have gone after Price Waterhouse for pw.ca. There's a few others that could have taken that one too. Right now, there's what's the other company I'm working on now? It's ML. Melanie's probably on the stream. She'll know what it is. Merrill Lynch or whatever it is. Merrill Lynch, that's it. So that's one that I would go after for something like ml.ca or something close to what they have. There's another one that I had that was...
Please remember of Embassy of Moldova. One of the poorest countries from the region of former USSR, but really, really confident people. And they love Bentleys, Mercedes, stuff like that. Once you've made it.
Yeah, so obviously we're going to look for companies that can afford to spend the money on the domain name. There's no point in reaching out to companies that are really tiny and really small because you're just increasing your marketing efforts when only a few people can afford to spend what would be now almost $500,000 to $1 million for a 2-letter .com or 3-letter .com at about. And depending, if you have a 3-letter .com and you're trying to sell it to Merrill Lynch, you're not going to put it out there at $60,000-$70,000. You're going to try to sell it probably at $500,000 or something like that, regardless of whether it's a 3-letter .com or a 2-letter.
So what would be the way to approach Merrill Lynch?
Merrill Lynch.
Merrill Lynch.
I have to look up what their current domain
so
is.
How would you start approaching them?
The first person I would call again would be the director of marketing or VP of marketing.
Okay. And you would find them from LinkedIn? Yes.
Yeah, I'd find them from LinkedIn.
Yes.
I'd probably make a connection first with them, and then I would probably call them and try to get through the gatekeepers. And then after that, I'd send an email, and I would try to get them to, I have to look at what they're at now, whether it's Merrill Lynch .com or whatever it is. I'm just taking a quick look. Yeah, they have ml.com. So for ml.ca, it's a much easier swing for me. You have ml.com,
yes.
You're known as Merrill Lynch.com in the US and the rest of the world. Would you also like to be known as ml.ca for Canada? And it should be a pretty straightforward discussion. The hard part's going to be getting to the right person in a company that has over 10,000 employees.
Okay, and then once you've reached the main person, then how would you start the conversation?
Well, first of all, I would see if there was any history.
I'm not gonna let you out that easily.
No, I don't want to get out that easy. First thing I'm gonna do
yes.
is do a search and see if any of the information is public on what they paid for the ml.com. If it's not public,
very good. Yes.
Then I have something else, and it's because they're a public company. It may have to be listed somewhere in their stock documents or something. But for something like that, what I would do is I would still contact them and I would offer the domain out there for $400,000 or $500,000 or whatever that I wanted to sell it for, and see what they said and got their reaction. And then they're going to have to table it. Big companies have to table it to a board of directors and things like that. But this is something that, do you want to be known as ml.ca in Canada, or would you rather have one of these 6 companies that also have ml.ca that I'm also reaching out to have that? So and once it goes to one of them, you're never going to get it. So you might as well get the opportunity now, because it's not going to come around again. Once a domain is sold, it's not like houses. There's only one of them. There's only one ml.ca. So if you want it, now's the time to reach out and grab it, because I'm selling the asset now, and I don't know who's going to own it after me, and they're probably not going to sell it again, because as you aren't going to sell ml.com, they're probably not going to sell ml.ca going forward. And then I have a list of companies with ml.com that are as big as they are, and see if they're interested.
And then you would try to get him on the phone, him or her.
Yeah, I would definitely try to get him or her on the phone. But I could also, with something like that, because this is such an important domain name for the company, Merrill Lynch, I would have the subject line say ml.ca is available to match ml.com. And I'd have it something like that that's going to grab their attention like that and be like, okay, you've got my brand, you've got the Canadian brand, it's the same letters. Maybe I should be opening this up because it's pretty serious. It's not something that I'm just sending them spam about getting their website design or hosting. Now I've touched on their brand and the .ca in the same conversation, same subject. They're definitely going to be interested and pay attention. I know I would be if I had the comm of it and I was in Canada and I had a Canadian branch. I would definitely be interested in owning the CA of the same 2 or 3 letters.
Of course, and maybe you would be even offended if the domainer didn't come to you and went to somebody else. It could
I
be.
don't know. I think it would be good to get first crack at it. I mean, I think
Yes.
that if you were running hostmarina.co.uk and somebody came to you with hostmaria.com, I don't think you'd be offended. I think you'd be wondering how much.
Yes, absolutely. No, I was saying about something else. This is the recent conversation I just had on Name Pros, and somebody said that about the domain summit. Hey, I'm interested. It is too big. It is too big. Then all I want is just to have a pint in a pub somewhere with 10, 15 domainers or something like that. And I'm not here to sell anything. Come on, you are a domainer. And it just reminded me of a couple of domains where I got offended, where I did reach out to sellers and I said, look, I know that you are selling these domain names.
Yeah.
Please get back to me. Please get back to me. One of them was I live in Maidstone, and maidstone.co.uk was for sale for £15,000. I couldn't afford them then, maybe 10 years ago. I sent an email or something, never got reply, and then he sold it or maybe gave it away for nothing. And I got a bit offended. And then there was ads as well, ads.co.uk. And I did reach out to the seller, and there are some other domains. And then you get offended when you see that the domain is sold, and for much less, for much less, when you see the price and you think, come on.
Well, that just tells you they're not a good business person. I mean, that's not intelligent no matter what you do. But the guy who's coming to the conference just to have a pint may think he's coming to just have a pint, but when he gets there and he realizes that there's opportunities to mingle and mix with people that actually have money, and he may have a good domain name or he may learn about domain names. When you mix and mingle and just have a pint of beer, you're still learning and you're listening to everything around you. So it's like watching a podcast. You're just listening and learning.
Yeah, offended is not the right word. The wrong word. It is more the sadness of bad business. It is more of sadness of bad business. Come on.
Some people just don't have common sense or good business skills. That's going to happen. Yes. But it's his loss and your loss, unfortunately. That's
yes,
the problem.
on both sides. Yes.
Yeah.
I have this classified site. I wanted ads.co.uk, and they could squeeze out everything from me at that point when I was working on it. God, really, they could squeeze.
That reminds me of that articles.com I was trying to buy, and the guy still doesn't use it and uses it for nothing. I wanted to buy articles.com probably about, 10 years ago. And he uses it for nothing. It barely uses it. If you check it, it goes to his store, and it's like a bookstore or something. I don't know, maybe it was a grocery store, and he wouldn't sell it. He just kept it. And all he does is forward it to his little store. It doesn't do anything for him. And at the time, I was offering him well more than it was worth. I would have paid a couple $100,000 for that back then, and now I don't know what he's going to do with it. But some people aren't motivated by money either. That's another thing. If people are well off, they don't find themselves needing to be motivated to sell something, even though they can get a lot of money for it, until you get the spouse involved, and then they're more interested.
And dear domainers, please make yourself to be found.
Yeah.
It is horrible, but many domainers physically cannot be found. We can't care less. Are you paying taxes or not, or maybe you want to hide your asses. Mostly, that's the probably top number one of the reason why people are hiding now. And
I don't know. It could be any reason. I am happy that one of the callers liked this shirt because my wife made me buy it on the weekend. So there you go.
Okay, very good. So shall we go to the questions, or was there something else about scripts?
They may have some questions about script. There's a lot of questions, I think, in the
fabulous.
In the chat.
Okay, well, let us go and see. Okay,
and now is a good time to post all your questions in the chat.
Yes. Okay. Yes, it was me. Okay, this is that one. Okay, okay, that's the one.
Oh, that's
here you go. Do you pay for LinkedIn, and do you have LinkedIn Premium? Here you go.
So
Good
The
question.
answer is twofold. One, I do pay for LinkedIn Premium, but not because of domains. I just like to get more information on people and I don't send any real a lot of messages, in mails, which is what
Yes.
LinkedIn calls them. So you really need Premium to send in mail and things like that, and some other things. I don't use it for a lot of the stuff, but there are some benefits that I like to see who's been viewing my profile. I like to make connections with people that viewed it. I build my network through a bunch of different ways. So you do not need Premium to be able to find people to sell domains. So you don't need to have a Premium account. I have one, but not for that purpose.
So you would mostly use it to see who has been watching your profile, who has been
Not
visiting your
watching.
profile,
I have about
visiting.
5 or 10 different things that I use it for. One of them is just I can see who's been visiting, and then I can contact them and become friends with them and tie into them. It also allows you to create more connections with people around you. And I don't use Sales Navigator. I've used it before, but Premium LinkedIn I find is worth the money.
Okay, very good. So, in example you are talking about, Adam, was the company what?
Oh, okay.
Was the
No,
company paperback or just something related to the term?
No, it was related. It was a company, Scott, you probably know them, Barnes and Noble. They're a large books company in the U.S. and Canada, massive. So it's like calling, back then it would have been like calling Chapters or Amazon or something like that. So they had lots of stores.
Okay, here's a question. Domain Explorer is asking, is there a software cheaper than Phantom Buster?
So there's a couple that you can use. One is called If This Then That, but I don't believe it's cheaper. But if you put in, and I do this all the time with products, if you put in Phantom Buster competitor, it'll give you a whole list of new companies that do the same things as Phantom Buster. Actually, I found one the other day. I'm just looking in my book because I wrote it down and I thought, that's interesting. Okay, I think it's called prospectss.com. Prospectss.com is the one that I found. But if you just type in Phantom Buster competitor, you're going to find all kinds of them.
What do they do?
So they will go in and they'll say, let's say you want to go into a group of domainers on LinkedIn or on Facebook
Okay.
or Twitter.
Yes.
It'll go in and it'll extract all the users and all their emails and everything for you, and then you can have them to email. So if you go in a group with 300,000 domainers and you want a list of them all, it'll go in and it'll extract all their information for you. It'll also allow you to invite them to like your profile and allow you to do some other things as well. It's got about 30 different tools for each social network. It helps you grow your own profile. It helps you extract from other people's profiles as well as groups and things like that. And then you can, or if you're planning an event, like let's say we wanted to invite all the domainers to one of the live broadcasts, it would go in and extract all the emails and send an email to each one of them saying, come visit the live session of host Maria because it's ongoing and it's about scripts or whatever you want to talk about. So it has a lot of different features. It's got Instagram, LinkedIn, and you have to look at it. It's a really good site. If you haven't looked at it, whoever's on the call, you'll definitely like it. It does all the manual work that you don't want to do. And you can have timers in between. So if you want to send an email every 15 seconds, if you want to send 100 today, or it does a lot of the stuff that simplifies things for you.
So whoever is watching something, please be careful with LinkedIn. LinkedIn has restrictions, heavy restrictions, and there are limits for everything you can do. How many messages a day you can send, how many people you can try to connect a day, how many you do this and that and that. And once you go outside those set limits, you risk your account to be banned. So please be very, very careful with LinkedIn. To lose a LinkedIn account, it is that easy. Easy. I've known cases where when the 10,000 connections, my LinkedIn account is 5,000 people plus a big plus, but people are losing these accounts just like that, just because using different LinkedIn software solutions.
And that even counts with making sure you're careful if you're using extraction add-ons to Chrome or any other browser. They know that too, and they'll send you a message saying, don't use this extension or you're going to get banned. You'll get 1 or 2 warnings and then they'll close you down.
Yes.
So not something you want to do.
So please be very, very cautious and careful. Okay. So the question has been answered. Okay. Coastal Bistro. How much did you sell it for?
It's not sold yet. No, it's not sold. I just sent out the emails, I think, last Friday or Thursday. It's $1,500. It's on dan.com right now. It's a good name, and I think that a coastal bistro can afford the $1,500 for something. It's not outrageous. Like it's not like $9,500 or $25,000 where they'd have to really think about it. But this coastal bistro that I targeted, I don't know where it was. It was in probably one of the Carolinas, but it didn't have a website. It was using a website on a subdomain like business.com or something, whatever it was. So there's opportunity not only to sell them the domain name, but sell them the business, sell them some optimization. Domains are just
Yes.
the intro into the house. Once you get into the house, you can sell them all kinds of other stuff if you have the skills or the manpower to do it. So, but Coastal Bistro, you can check it now. It's still priced on Dan. I think it's
Yes.
$1,500.
Joe, and hello, Joe. Once again, could you please refill that application for the sponsored pass? Thank you. I'm still waiting for that. Yes. Okay, thanks. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, well, that was okay. That was splendid. I have DN Explorer in King, plural, and singular. What means in King?
Okay, I have DN Explorer in King, plural and singular. So I don't know what King is, but he's
Yes,
saying DN
yes.
Explorer, DN
And DN
Explorers,
Explorers, yes.
King. So I need to know Domain Explorer's deets so we can begin negotiating. Oh, he's kind of kidding around, but I don't know what the King means. Like, I don't know.
Is
I
there
don't know.
expansion? Is there extension King? Dot King? Is there one?
Not that I know of.
Haven't heard of one.
No, not that I know of.
Okay. Should we move forward?
Yeah, he's smiling, so we know he's
Okay. Okay. Only sell, not buy. Okay, I suppose. Yes. That's okay. That's good.
Okay.
How about
So-
you do a geo name?
Okay, so Jill, for geodomains, you're going to have to go in knowing what the company is. So I would look up, just pick a random one. I'd look up Orlando locksmith or something to do with whatever geo you're selling. Look up the keywords on SpyFu. The first 2 or 3 lookups are free. See how much those keywords are selling for, and then also take a look at who's buying those keywords right now and target those people first. You can also just go to Google and type in the geo domain with the city and whatever it is, see the people that it says add for, and then target those. Make a list of all the people who are either buying ads. The good thing about SpyFu is it shows you everyone who's bought an ad in the last year or 2 as well. So you can get a good list of people from that as well. So if you ever need me to run a name for you, I have a paid account there. I think I can just run it through and give you a list. It's pretty quick. But I would target people who are already spending money on it, or businesses that are buying ads for it, or people that are in the top listings for it who appreciate benefits from. If you're not on the top page of Google, you're not going to get any traffic. So if you're on page 3, I would target some of those companies and say, hey, you're on page 3 or page 20 of Google for Chicago Locksmith. I have Chicago Locksmith with this domain. You could probably easily get to page 1 with a little help from me. If you're interested, let me know. I'm now managing the asset. You can go into that. The company's no longer in business, but at least you know who to target properly. And that's the main thing with geodomains, is how to find companies that are already paying for ads for the same geo keywords that you're selling on your domain names.
Do you really actively use SpyFu?
Yeah, I do. I use it for clients whose websites I'm working on to help them grow
Okay.
in SEO, and I also use it to look up their competitors. One of the features I like about SEMrush and SpyFu is that I can go in and I can put in 5 different competitors or 3, and it gives
Yes.
me circles of all the keywords that all the companies are advertising, and I can see there's just this much overlap, and I need to expand the keywords by this much. But a lot of companies have garbage keywords to begin with anyway, so you have to remove some of the ones that don't apply and add the ones that do apply, so you can be competitive with them in the space that they're in.
I
So
could be wrong, but SEMrush seems to be a Russian company. Yes.
well, I don't know about that.
Here you go. Here is a smile. Here's a smile. I did check Ahrefs, and Ahrefs were started by Ukrainians, and now they are in Singapore, maybe, or at least their office is there. So I was like, whew, okay.
But I don't know about that. I'll have to look into it. I don't know.
Yes.
Interesting. Probably he's got a big yacht somewhere. Oh yeah, Oleg Shagelov. Here, this is the guy who founded it. Maybe. Interesting. Oh, that's the guy. So put it in the private chat. Maybe he's
Yes.
Russian. Maybe he's not. Who knows? Anyway, yeah,
Okay,
that's.
and here's a question about these days. It is a different topic of are you able to cut off or are you able to join the world? As a friend of mine, he is of course we shouldn't talk about Ukraine in this one, but he's all about Ukraine. Every day he follows the news,
Mhm.
but part of his business is working together with so 90% of his income comes from working in cooperation with a Russian company. And with tears in his eyes, he carries on.
Yeah, that's tough.
And well,
That's
he understands and he supports Ukraine, but that's a Russian company, a proper Russian company, and he needs money to survive. He just cannot cut them off. Carries
it's a
on
tough
working.
one.
Yes, of course, he wants. Yeah, of course, not everybody can cut off, and we are not here to judge anybody. Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
So, okay, moving on. If you have a domain that is suitable for 10 companies, would you ring all 10 companies on the same day? Very good.
No. First of all, it depends on my time. First of all, I would ring half of them the first day, and then based on those reactions, I would limit my calls if I thought I had a serious reaction or a serious company interested, because then I wouldn't want to get into. I'm not trying to get into a battle. I'm just trying to sell a domain name. So I would ring 3 or 4 the first day, then I would do 3 or 4 the next day, and 3 or 4 the day after that. But I would see, I would know based on the conversations if there's any serious interest in it. And then also I'd follow up with emails and I would add them all to LinkedIn. So I would do that. I mean, I don't care. Remember, all I care about is making the sale. If 2 or more companies want the domain name at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I mean, I only have 1 domain to sell. So
This actually brings up a question of organizing your day. Do you organize these calls in the morning or previous evening?
always in the morning. But I also have to be careful of time zones, depending on if I'm trying to call a company in the UK or if I'm trying to call them in California. I have to keep in mind where the people are that I'm calling and try to get to them before they get too busy with their day as well. Because once they get into their email and they get busy and bogged down, they don't have time for, they have less time for me than when they're busy sipping their coffee, getting used to starting out their day.
Okay, that's awesome. How do you send bulk email without getting banned?
So I don't tend to send bulk email. I tend to send personalized emails. That's really the key. Bulk email will usually not sell you a domain name. I mean, you can use a mail merge program to send out bulk emails, but just changing it.
Through
I like
Gmail,
to
yes.
customize them, like I did with Charlotte Johnson and Nabisco, and she's the director. I want to know more about them. If I actually really want a chance of having a successful sale, bulk email is never the way to go.
Yes, if you are talking about Mr. Domain Explorer, if you're talking about a bulk, then one, you need a very, very good list. Very, very good list. You need to be sure that you are emails you are sending to them, that they are targeted to those people, not just everybody. Then the next thing, you want to send them in batches. Emails need to be warmed up, and very, very important, your email list has to be checked. There are tools that do check the emails before you send them. You need to verify that these are actually valid emails. There are many, many, many things. There is a great YouTube channel. I could be a bit wrong. Hage-educate. I think Hage-educate. Pakistani guy, something like that. He doesn't look too posh and maybe conservative and elegant, but the content he gives is really, really good on YouTube. Hage-educate. I think that's his YouTube channel. He
Well, the
also has
content
some
is the most
courses
important thing.
and yes.
The content. It doesn't matter if he's got a nice shirt or anything. It matters if he knows what he's talking about.
Yes, but in the case of this guy, oh yes, he definitely knows what he's talking about. So definitely do check out that guy. Okay. Surely then.
Yeah.
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 So what if you have 50 leads? So would you contact people one by one or all 50 together?
So I wouldn't contact all 50 together. What I would do would be take a look at the leads that I have. 50 is a lot, but I would go through and find the information on some of the companies and figure out who the top 5 or the top 10 would be in that list, and then I'd start to target them in order of preference. In other words, if it's a $1,500 or $3,000 domain, you don't need to be so picky and find them because almost anybody can afford that. But if you're talking about a higher end domain name, you need to determine again the number of employees, and that's usually a good guide on if they are going to have money to be able to afford a more expensive domain. But I again would do the same thing. I wouldn't target 50 at a time, even though they're all going to different people and they don't know the others are getting it. I wouldn't send out that many because it makes follow-up very difficult, and probably some of those are going to bounce. And you need to do proper research to send out requests for leads, and then you have to follow up with phone calls. So you have to do it in a way you can follow up with phone calls, or if you're just going to do emails, 50 all at once is never a good idea.
Okay, and whatever you do, once you are sending group emails, if you're using the Gmail, then please put them into a BCC section. So once you send an email, those who do not know, so there are 3 fields where you can put in addressee. The one is to, that's the primary contact you are sending to. The next one is CC, so people who are of secondary importance but included. And everybody who is receiving this email, they would see that these people have also been included in the email. And then there is this third section. It is BCC. So is it BCC or BBC?
Yeah, BCC, blind.
BBC,
it's
yes.
carbon copy and blind carbon copy. Yeah,
blind carbon copy. Yes, you would put your list in there, and then a person, and nobody would know who was included there. That is a clean way to see it, to send lots and lots of emails.
So I'm laughing because I did send an email once for a cannabis-related domain name. Okay. I grabbed all the cannabis companies that were at a conference or something like that. I got all their emails, and then I forgot to BCC them, and I CC'd them all or something like that, or I did to all of them. And I did end up getting a sale. Don't remember what the domain was, but I also got a few emails from people calling me a lot of names because now I made all their emails public, and now people can find them easier, and they didn't like that either. So definitely use the BCC field when you can. I only did that once, and I learned from it.
And if it happens to you, don't worry. People with experience will smile, and they will bookmark your email. There will be a side effect. They will bookmark your email. I've got several of some like these bookmarked when people have made mistakes. Yeah. And now I have a list of really, really important emails in some very, very specific niches. This happens to anybody. This happens to anybody. So yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't like bulk emails, so I agree. No bulk emails, personalize them, and you can send a few, but I wouldn't send bulk. Like, you're not targeting, you're not putting the effort in to find a good buyer if you're sending out bulk. Plus 50 leads is maybe too many to start with. I would start with 5 to 10 and be serious about those 5 to 10. You don't need 50 to sell one domain. You need one right one to sell a domain name.
Okay. Any trademark concerns for ML?
No, because I'm not targeting anything that they do with their products or services. All I'm doing is offering them a domain that matches their business that they can either choose to buy or not buy.
Yes. And anything can be there. Even monsterleeches.ca.
Yeah, it could be anything. It could be my list. Monster leeches would be very scary. Although after COVID, maybe monster leeches are next. Who knows?
Oh, okay. Okay.
No, I'm scared of. The one thing I faint at. I'm a big baby when it comes to giving blood. I have to lie down. When I go to give blood, I hate giving blood.
I've been there as well, and I fainted. I almost fainted, and the lady was, Mr. Really?
So I had a friend who went, and they told him to leave, and he left, and he went to the bathroom, and he noticed there was some blood on the floor, and he was wondering what that was from, and he realized he was shooting blood out of his arm because it didn't seal up properly before they let him go. So that's enough to make me. I was queasy before that, but then when he tells me that story, I know very bad.
Well, the leech business is huge. It is huge.
Yeah,
it is huge in both for both animals and for animals and people. even eczemas are sorted out with little itches and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be doing that anytime soon.
We need to grow some balls.
Not me. I'm a big baby when it comes to that.
Absolutely.
Other
Give us
people's
give
blood,
us a pill.
I'm okay with. I'll help out.
Yeah.
I'm fine, but my own blood,
Yes.
forget it. Okay, when you close a deal, do you send
Yes.
the buyer to Afternic or to escrow? So quite honestly, it depends on the deal. Because of my experience, generally, if the domain is under a certain amount, probably under a couple thousand or something like that, I almost trust the buyer. Otherwise, I'll send them now. I'll send them to Dan or somewhere. I won't send them to Afternic, or I would send them to escrow because it's cheap, but I wouldn't send them to somewhere where I was going to pay 20% for the transfer. So if it's a big domain, I usually use escrow.com, or like I've said before, if it's a huge sale, it goes through a lawyer and then I don't have to worry about escrow. The last 4 or 5 big, huge sales I've had have not gone through escrow. They just went through a lawyer. But for small things, depending where they are, I'll just, if it's in Canada, I'll tell them just to, we have, what do we call them? Elect e-transfers, so they can e-transfer up to
Yes.
$2,500 a day, and we can get that. They send it, and I'll give them the domain ahead of time sometimes, depending on who it is. I'm not really too worried about that. But generally, yeah, if you don't know them, use escrow.com or find another way to deal with it without giving up 20%. They probably have a TM on ML offering open. No, I'm not really worried about it. It's a problem if I'm targeting the products that the company has. On an acronym domain name, I'm not worried about it at all. I've never had any issues with them ever. And I'm not specifically saying that I'm just targeting them. I'm saying this domain could be a good match for you and your company, but I'm also targeting other companies. Well, I'm not targeting. Targeting is not another word, because that could be like litigation. I'm also looking at selling it to other companies that would have a good, similar use as you would.
I do apologize. I'm doing one thing. Okay.
No problem.
Bang.
Where are these videos saved so we can watch them? Okay, that's a question for you.
Now, let me show everybody something cool I've been working on. It is called, so we all know the best. So if for a man, if somebody would ask, who is the best lady in the world? Your mom. Your mom. Your mom. Mom knows the best. dnmom.com. And we have launched finally. dnmom.com is ready, Adam. And
I haven't seen this. I'm getting the same preview as everybody else.
here you go. Here is dnmom.com. You would go here. There are still lots of work to be done. You can go here, Adam Dicker.
I see a lot of videos we've done.
You can go here to experts, and you will see Adam is here as well. There are with Sam. There is Stephanus. If you remember Stephanus, there is Monty Khan. There are 2 videos done with Monty Khan as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just go there. Just go there, and do look into that. And it will be still done, changed. There will be lots and lots of things to be done. But dnmom.com, that will be a place, #1 video platform. Hopefully, if somebody else comes with something better, kudos to you. But simple way to find the videos, all related to the main name business only. And more content is coming. More and more.
Looks good. Looks good. You got to add your fave icon, which could be a picture of your face or something like that.
No, there are lots and lots of things to be done and changed, and URLs need to be changed. But finally, it is up to the stage where the videos, I've uploaded lots of videos. So this is the setup I've been telling Sam and Adam about, and they were like, okay, we'll see, does it work or not. But this is something at one place you can go. Anybody can go there, and instead of let us say you are going to YouTube and you are searching for something, then the YouTube will have their own algorithm. Hey, you need to watch this or that, and GoDaddy will be always first. In this case, go find your expert, watch the videos, and more channels and videos will be added there. We are just beginning, and we've done lots of videos, Adam.
Oh, 20. It said 21, but I've got another 60 to 80 I can upload if you tell me how later, or send me instructions. I've got lots I've done over the years, certainly.
I definitely, I will definitely give you. Yes, we'll create you an account, or if you want to do, if you want to, I can ask one of my team members to do it for you,
No problem. I
or
can
or
just
if you
give
can do
them.
it. Yeah,
I can give them access to like a Google Drive area where
yeah,
I've got them all stored. It's funny looking back at myself 10 years ago and watching some of those videos because I don't usually watch them, and knowing that some of the content that I was giving is 98% of it is still accurate today. It still applies. It's the same theories.
absolutely.
So
It's evergreen business. Nothing changes. Scripts don't change. Approach to the business doesn't change.
no, just the
It's
names.
the
That's all
idea
that change.
and the prices at that point.
Prices, yeah.
So so whoever is watching, just wait, and Adam's channel will appear as well.
I'll be ready.
Oh yes, and we started the first live stream with you was in 2020, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, November or something. Okay, let us see what else. What else is there? So, how is Neon Mom? Good. That's
Yeah,
good.
it's
Yeah.
good. Even I like it. It's very nice. It's very nice laid out. I like the background too. Except I can't get used to so many pictures of myself at once on a screen.
Nice, good. Once you go to experts on the top, you would go Adam Dicker. You would click on Adam. Here you go. Some description. If you need to change your, I'll give you the access and everything. Yeah. We can talk about that. There are still things to be done, and yeah, lots and lots of things to be done.
There's a few more questions.
Yes, of course. So, okay, would you launch the forum again? Bang.
Would I do it again? I would do it differently, way differently. Would I run it again, launch it again? Maybe the whole industry's changed and it's more social now. So I'm more into the social media stuff because audiences are there for me. I don't have to advertise to get them. But I did enjoy the 10 or 15 years I put into it. Loved it, actually.
Okay, and so YouTube. Okay, David. Oh, David, such a pleasant man, and great conversation today at Clubhouse. In LinkedIn, in a list of profiles. Why is that I see some people I can message, whereas others I can't connect to. What's the difference?
You may find profiles that you're not a direct connection with, so you can't do an in-mail with them, and then they may be too far away, but they may turn up in your searches, or they may have in-mails turned off, which is more likely the case. If they're people that you are connected with, then it's going to be that they have in-mail turned off, so they don't want to receive email.
In general, if I may continue, David, in general, LinkedIn is a platform that tries to protect their users against spam. That is one of their main objectives. So the main rule, you can message only to your first connections.
Yeah.
Then you can connect to second and third connections. So if you have common connections on the second or on the first on one level or two levels, then you can connect with a person. If the person is outside of any connections of yours, then you are even unable to send them a connection request. That is the thing. For this reason, it is very, very important to build up your LinkedIn profile. Sometimes I've been in position where I really need to connect to a person, but we haven't got the common connections at all. And it has happened even at this moment when I have 5,000 connections, good questions, quality LinkedIn account, and still I cannot connect to everybody, to anybody, especially if on the other side a person has got maybe 50 or 100 connections only, or maybe 20 connections only, and they are saying, yes, I do have LinkedIn account for 10 years, but I keep it personal. Come on, nobody can reach you, nobody can connect to you. Yes.
These, I think these sessions are going to have I have some stuff I'm going to throw in now. Just some names, a few names that are dropping and a few that are available now.
Awesome. Yes.
I don't have a lot, but I think we're going to have to schedule these things more than an hour, these little discussions of ours, because they always go into good places. So here's some names that are available right now. Softwarepatching.com. This one is for Connie. Mobilehomeinsurers.com, homeworkoutprograms.com, horse races online, and officetranslator.com. I'll put them in the group. Those are the CPCs beside all of them. These are all available right now. They're all above $15.
Horseraces.com. Grab it first.
Horseracesonline.com. People always go online to go watch them.
Yes, and you can create, and lots of places do offer white labels.
Did you paste that to me or to them?
Oh, sorry, yes.
And then here's some that are dropping that are good. I think you guys will like these. I'll post them in the window to Helmuts.
Okay.
AdvertiseLocally.com. I think that's a great name. $56 a click. AdvertiseLocally.com, and it's $56, and it's expiring on the 24th. Apply for trademarks, $28 a click, expiring on the 24th.
Yes.
Lawyers for employees. Lots of employees have problems with their employers. $22 a click also, and then accidentattorneys.co.uk. Those are all decent domain names. Those are dropping around the 24th, all of them.
Okay, here you go. Advertise locally.
And then we go back to
apply for trademarks. Very nice.
Yeah, I like that one because
it's
good. It'll get indexed.
Absolutely. And that is the exact keyword. It's good. Accident attorneys. Good again.
Okay.
And
more questions?
And once yes, we'll attend it. And if you buy a domain name or if you have registered it, just say, hey, I got this one. Thanks, Adam. This is a great list. So one, and yes, and then the second one. Software patching, home insurance.
Software patching is a big thing.
Yes,
I mean, it happens all the time. Companies need patching done, and they hire companies to come in and do it. Home workout programs, very big. It's like that outdoor gym that I had last week, very big. And some of the names that we had last week that we registered had a fair bit of traffic. So
office translator.
It's interesting. I don't know what you do with it, but it is interesting. Keywords. Yes. Absolutely. If you have multi-countries, it's not bad.
And there are lots and lots of translators. Lots of translator businesses all around the world.
Yeah.
Could be. That is interesting.
But I think watching horse racing online is a big thing too, because people want to check all the tracks online, and who knows.
Here's a question from Eugene. What's the type of return email that you use for your outgoing emails in selling domains? Also, what would you recommend is the best type of email address to have for the outgoing emails?
So I like to tell people to go to email.com and register firstname.lastname@consultant.com. So I have adam.dicker@consultant.com. I like that one because it could be that I'm a consultant, I've taken over the asset, or asset manager, or anything like that that shows that you're managing assets and not just selling domain names. Something like that. What type is the return email that you use for outgoing emails? I'm not sure what you mean by type, but it's just the two on the return. There's no CC or BCC.
Adam, did you say that you are using consultant.com?
Yeah.
Why not your own? Why not adam@adamdigger.com?
I could. I mean, but I don't. I honestly would have to build up the site and do something with it. And honestly, I've got too much.
What happened to Adam Digger?
I've just got too much on my plate. I got to be honest.
It is up and down like Bitcoin prices.
No, I think it's just it's not. Yes. It hasn't really been up. I think it says coming soon for I don't know how long. But I've got so much on there that I've all the videos. Some of the stuff I'll just have to move over to the new Mum site. But there's lots of stuff going on here on DN Mum. So there's a lot of stuff.
I did notice it today when I was putting up a link on your experts page, and then I put up your LinkedIn.
Yeah, no, I have. There's a lot.
Yeah,
a lot to do.
Okay, here you go. What was the name of that?
See, I don't know what it was that she's asking because there's two people that asked what's the name of that, but there's so many different things we talked about. Yes. Okay. I don't know which thing.
Okay, we do apologize. Okay, would you launch the inform? That was you were missing context. Okay, cool. Thanks. Okay, that's the Oleg. Tim, can companies own trademarks? Something like Sunday Ticket. I read in the news. Yes.
Yes, they can. Companies can trademark anything or any brand that they have, or any offshoot of a brand. Like Sunday Ticket is owned by the NFL. That's what they call their channel, their pay channel, to give you all the NFL games all day, every day. I watch it all the time. But yes, companies, Super Bowl is trademarked. Companies can trademark anything that they want or any brand that they want to create. They just have to have, obviously it helps if they have first right of use of it, if they've used it, or if they, most companies will do trademarks before they launch a product, the smart ones, so that people won't go out and grab all the domains related to it. But definitely, FL Sunday Ticket. I read in the news FL Sunday Ticket is likely to move to streaming service. Yeah, we've had it on a streaming service here for a while in Canada. It has not been available on a TV channel. But yeah, Sunday Ticket is definitely a trademark of the NFL.
Tian, is there an approximate average number of outgoing calls should a domainer expect to make before a cold call becomes a warm contact?
So Tien has a really good warm
Okay.
personality, so I think she will be able to warm them up faster than most that would be calling like a mechanical robot. I would say that for her, it would be about 2 to 3. For the average person, it may take 4 to 5 before they remember you. Again, with that shit,
That's
you guys.
the proof. That's
Oh
the
my
proof.
God, I'm gonna have to talk to my wife. She's gonna make me crazy about this now. So Tian, for you, probably 2 to 3, and they're gonna warm up to you.
Okay. Yeah, followed. Age educate. You're most welcome. Okay. The biggest issue people face when selling domains is the 60-day lock waiting time to transfer to the buyer.
Okay, so that's not necessarily true because you can push it to anybody at the same registrar. So basically, if your buyer doesn't have an account there, you can create one for them, or I've told them to go sign up for an account and then I've pushed it to them. So that's not necessarily true. Plus, at a lot of companies, and I've mentioned this before, at GoDaddy, if you send an email to undo@godaddy.com and tell them you sold the domain name, they'll take off the 60-day lock. That's undo@godaddy.com. This I know because I've done it quite a few times. But the easiest way to get around this is to just create a new account at the same registrar and push it for them, and make sure you put the ownership in their name and everything's done, and then you're done. That's the fastest way to get around it. People have been saying this for years, but it's never been an issue. The person buying the domain name wants it in their name as fast as you want to push it to them, so they'll be happy to open up the account to get it.
Absolutely. Brilliant. Okay, let's see the next one. DN Mom is bookmarked. Mom will never do anything bad. Mom is the best, yes.
Don't tell that to DN wife.
Okay.
Oh, the hair's the same, I think. That's the thing, DN. I'm pretty sure. This isn't like I was like a rocker and I had like a spiked hair or anything like that. I'm pretty sure I look the same, but a little bit younger.
Okay. Horses, yes. Okay. Joe, are the horses yours then?
Yeah.
Lots of money in the horse. Absolutely.
Tons. I don't know
Crazy.
why, because honestly, if you bet on a soccer game, you've got 2 or 3 options. With horses, you've got 12 outcomes or 15. I mean, the chances aren't good, but people still love to bet on the horses. My dad was addicted to horse racing, and I can't even watch it. I like the horses, but to bet on it's just silly. 12 different I mean, I don't know. Whatever, all good.
Well,
I mean, a sports game, you pick one of 2 teams.
Gamblers, yes.
Yeah, but a sports game, you pick 1 to 2 teams. In a baseball, basketball, hockey game, you got 1 or 2 options. A horse racing, you have 12 to 13. It's not very smart.
You can explore your fantasies and theories on like every 5 minutes. Absolutely crazy. Well, but there are people who enjoy it, and good for them.
Okay. How do you get over? Okay, so that's done.
That was done. Okay. Thanks for the scripts.
There'll be more, Connie. I'm gonna post some more. Keep that link.
Bang!
David got
the
software
smart man.
patching.
Good job, David.
It's a good one. And he's the fastest typist I know, by the way.
David is absolutely awesome. So a year ago, I spent quite a lot of time on Clubhouse, and out of maybe 5-7 people, I remember the most. One was David. Today, when I saw him on Clubhouse, I was curious, was it him? He leaves such a fantastic impression. Knowledgeable, experienced.
So I've had many chats with David because I'm managing his portfolio with him, and he is a good guy. And very nautical based. He'll tell you that. He is a man of the sea, and he knows it very well.
Absolutely. Okay, could you go over in the future show how to boost up a lead gen site to a customer site?
How to
If
boost up
there
a
are,
lead gen. Okay.
okay,
How to
is
boost
this
up a lead gen site or a customer site. Incoming links, backlinks, or non-existent. Okay. Yeah, we can go over that. No, you shouldn't buy backlinks. That's an old school thing of doing it now. There's no need to buy backlinks.
okay?
Connie, send a domain in or something, or email a domain, and we'll try it for one of your sites and see how it goes.
Connie, there are creative ways on acquiring backlinks. There are creative ways. One of them are sponsoring local local kids teams, local university teams, local competitions. And in the essence, it is buying backlinks. Quite often, buying backlinks and buying a press releases. That is buying backlinks as well. So there are, Adam. I might be very yes.
Well, we can always debate.
Yes,
There's always two opinions. That doesn't mean I'm right or you're right.
absolutely.
Uh,
Okay, what does the handshake mean in Namecheap new features?
that I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. I hope it has nothing to do with that other announcement they made. But I don't know what the handshake means.
What was the other announcement?
Something about they were blocking all Russian domainers or
Yes,
things like
yes,
that. Something like
yes,
that.
yes. That was a while ago. They made their decision.
Oh, somebody else likes David Hastings.
Yes, I second that. Okay. Okay. Software patching snapped. So
Yeah,
okay.
we know David got that Sunday.
Somebody's
Man, I think we're
really
finally
quick.
at the end of the comments. Diana, your dinner's going to be really late. I apologize. It's going to be really late tonight.
Okay, fabulous. And then I will try next time. I will try to get Colin. So Colin should be back. Do you remember flip.uk?
Of course, yeah.
Let us try and get Colin back next time, and then we can have a chat what is what. And also, then there is another option, or the second option. So there is somebody I've been talking today on Clubhouse. Would you like to be on the stream next Monday? Then there is an option. Instead of Colin, we could have David Hastings.
Oh, I'm fine with that.
David, what do you say? 9 p.m. UK time.
What time is it there
Monday.
now? Is it like 10:30?
Or yes, now it is 10:43.
Oh my God, it's so late for you guys.
28. Oh, that would be on 29th. On 29th, that would be a Tuesday on 29th, not
That's
Monday.
fine.
I can't.
No problem.
So let us wait for David to come back to me, and if David, then we agree that Adam and Sam, if Sam is here, would go through David's portfolio, and then we'll have an interesting
I
stream.
love portfolio reviews online.
Okay. There you go.
There you go.
Next Tuesday. So next one is so I really do apologize. I can't do it Monday. So then it's Tuesday, 29th, 4 p.m. Eastern time. Yes, Eastern Standard Time.
It's
EST.
usually 5 p.m. Eastern,
5
but I
p.m.
can do 4 p.m. or 5 p.m.
No, 5. Yes, the usual time. So it is 5 p.m. Yes. You
Yeah.
said. And then 9 p.m. UK time. That's fantastic. And if you are in Germany, then it would be 10 p.m. 10 p.m. Awesome. Then see you next time, Adam, David, and probably Sam as well. What about 8? Is 8 good time for you as well? No, I think it is. Once we set up a time, it is good to stick to the same time.
I'm fine. Sure. 5 is good. I'm fine. I'm fine with 9 p.m. if that works for you guys.
Yes, it is. Otherwise, to our watchers, for me, it would be easier to go 8 p.m. UK time as well. But it is good to have some consequences, not some consequences, but some stability in times. If we are not Mondays or Tuesdays, and then 9 p.m. UK time, 5 p.m. Canadian time. Who cares about EST Canadian time?
Yeah, who cares?
Okay, stick to the same time. Yeah, very good.
Well, if Joe says it, then we have to stick to it, so it's all good.
Bang. set in stone. Okay. UK time has to change. Oof.
Yeah, ours changed
Awful.
last weekend. We changed ours like I think 10 days ago or 9 days ago. We changed
Okay.
ours.
Is it this Sunday or next Sunday? So next Sunday is still far enough. Okay. Yes. Okay. Anyway, please wait for the updates, and of course, the event will be published at the Facebook group out of the name. And if you go to the Google Sheet, maybe we can once again. I can copy and paste the link for the second time. Just leave it in the very bottom. Here will be the scripts. Adam? Yes.
Yep,
And
that
Adam
won't
will
change.
yes, and Adam will update those scripts if he will have some time. Just go bookmark this link and enjoy and say thanks. Thank you, Adam.
Thank you. Another great show, but we can never stick to an hour with the two of us. So
Something for you to promote?
no, I'm just happy to be here and happy to meet our usual crowd and nothing to promote. All good.
Fabulous. And thank you, everybody. And of course, please bookmark August 22nd to 24th. London Domain Summit, a restaurant made private for 3 days, enough space for 100, 150 people. People will come in for a couple hours, coming in, leaving. And if you have a business that serves domainers, please contact me. And there are 11 different possibilities for you to present your business to all the attendees, to have your own places like stands. Thank you. Okay. All the best. Thank you, Adam.
Thank you.